Bella, how was your first exam?
I had English paper 1 and I studied really hard. I smashed it. How'd your second exam go?
Oh, I had maths. I did a fair amount of work. I think I went okay. Hey Maya, you got physics coming up tomorrow. How's study going?
Oh no, physics. I spend so much time doing maths and English, I barely have any time left for physics. I don't know what I'm going to do.
So this is a really common mistake that students make in studying for HSC trials and HSC exams. Basically, you look at your first exam, usually English paper 1 or paper 2, and you start studying for that. And because it's your first exam, invariably it takes up most of your time. You give it the most focus. So then by the time you get into your exam period and you're in second, third, fourth, fifth exam, you discover, I haven't done enough study for these later exams. And as a result, what happens is your exam results are pretty good in the first exam, but then they start going down across the rest of your exams simply because you haven't given them as much time as they deserve. So we've got to work out how can you better plan your time and your schedule for studying for your HSC trials and HSC exams to avoid this happening. And that's exactly what I'm going to share in this video. A super practical but also pretty counterintuitive way that you can actually plan for your study so that you don't end up getting overwhelmed and cramming for study during your exam periods. So how do you organize your time and your study in the lead up to your exams? I have a really counterintuitive idea for you to share, and that method is to study in reverse. That's right, study in reverse. Now you might be thinking, what on earth is he going on about? But let me explain. It's pretty simple. Instead of studying for your first exam first, which is usually English paper 1, what you're going to do instead is you're going to study for your last exam first, and then your second last exam second, and your third last exam third, until what happens is the week before your exams, or the 2 weeks before, you'll be working on that first exam. Now, why does this work? There's a couple of reasons for it. Firstly, it actually means that you're building some foundation of knowledge for those later exams earlier on. So by the time you get mid-exam period, you're not having to cram and study all last minute for that entire subject. You've already built the foundation and you can simply revise. So it actually helps you maintain higher results across all your exams, across the entire exam period. Secondly, the other really great benefit of this is that the week before your first exam, you're studying for your first exam. So you're also taking advantage of recency from a memory point of view in your study. So here's my action for you. What I want you to do is I want you to get out your exam timetable and look at what the order and sequence of your exams are. And then pull out a calendar and start identifying what subjects you're going to study on what days, keeping in mind this study in reverse principle. And then once you've done that, stick it on your wall so it's insight in mind. So you've got visibility and accountability on what subjects you're going to study on what days. So that's it, guys. It's such a simple way to plan for your exam blocks so that you don't end up running out of time and cramming for your study for exams that you have later on in the exam block. If you've got any questions on how to apply this in your own study, leave it in the comments below. Additionally, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified. We're doing videos weekly, so that way you can keep in touch with further advice on how to prepare for your exams. See you next week.